Hey class, welcome to Abroad Sex Education, where we discuss everything you wish you learned in school. I'm your host and professor of period products, Cin. And today, my co-host and student is Brooklyn.
Yay!
Woo! Valedictorian back in the house.
Back in the house.
This podcast is a sex education resource intended for an adult audience. We'll be having real, inclusive conversations about sexuality, pleasure, relationships, gender, identity, and more. Some topics may be considered explicit or sensitive. Our goal is to break the stigma and provide the kind of sex education many of us never got. We're learning too, and we're bringing what we learned straight to the classroom so we can all grow together. You deserve to know what this is about so you can make an informed choice to listen. Or not. That's what consent looks like, even here.
To prepare and be legitimate, I came to menstruate today for this.
Oh,
episode.
you're menstruating
Yeah,
for this?
yeah.
Nice. I was menstruating for the last one. So
Perfect. I didn't want to come on as a fraud.
right. You need to establish some credibility.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry, everyone. I'm shedding my uterus wall as we speak.
Nice. So for this lesson, it's called Managing Menstruation. This is actually going to be 2 parts. So part 1 is called Menstrual Products 101. Part 2 is going to be the business of bleeding.
Whatever path we're going to go on, I trust you.
Okay. So part 1 is going to be health and science, where we're going to look at the different types of menstrual products, what they're made of, how to use them safely, and the environmental impact they have on the earth. The second part is going to be history and sociology, where we're going to look at how people managed menstruation back in the day, like before menstrual products even came to be, and the history of the development of menstrual products. And the sociology portion is going to be about how public perception of periods have changed over time, and we're going to look at advertising to do that, to look into it more. So you ready?
Yes.
Yay.
Is there going to be a quiz at the end?
Yes, and
Okay.
there is a quiz at the end, but it's going to be based off the information that you learn. There's only 4 questions. One of them is not something that's from the information, but it's still a fun one. Okay? All right. So first of all, health and science. Menstrual Products 101. How they work and what they're made of. So we're just going to go through the different menstrual products. So when you started your menstrual cycle for the first time, what was like recommended to you?
Worst day of my life. Like for a product, what was recommended to me?
Yeah.
A pad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Why was it the worst of your life?
Oh, I was living in terror of the day that it would come.
Mm-hmm.
And then it came, and it was as horrible as I imagined. And you're literally like bleeding from your vagina. So that's shocking because I wasn't used to just like bleeding from things. And when I was a kid, I was like scared to be an adult. I was like, oh, I don't want to like not play anymore. And so I think it was like a transition of like, I'm going to have responsibility and it's going to suck and it's going to blow and I'm going to hate it. And all of those things have been true.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, and then later you'll go through menopause and that's going to also suck and blow.
Right.
So it's just a lifetime of disappointments starting on that day. It was at night, actually. I should say worst night of my life. Yeah. I remember what I was wearing. I was wearing blue silk pajama shorts.
Oh, how old were you?
12
Yeah, I think I was around like 12. I don't.
and a half.
You ripped to the day.
Yes.
I really don't remember the day I got my period.
Really?
I genuinely don't.
Repressed memory.
I have a very shitty memory of my childhood because of the childhood sexual assault.
That makes sense.
So like the good memories and the bad memories are all different.
Blocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was like trauma was a period. I'm sorry. That's very insensitive to me.
But I do remember having my period and being outside of the house and being in the garage. I don't remember if that's when it started, but I remember that was like one of the first times I had my period.
You had it without a product in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't remember if I even had like the talk or anything about, because I feel like when you're in school, you only get to talk about like, this is the uterus, this is the ovaries, and then sometimes you menstruate or the blood will come out and that's what a period is. But I don't think there was enough understanding of like menstruation management.
Like what to do when it starts.
Yeah, I think that socially there's a expectation that your school will handle the internal organs and your parents will handle the what to
Oh,
do at
yeah.
home. Like, oh, when you ask, you're like, oh, mom, like, what's coming out of me or whatever.
I feel like I did get that education in school, which is how I knew to live in fear. I think I got it around 4th grade. Information had been circulating.
Yeah. I mean, I think we talked about it. I'm not 100%. Again, shitty memory.
Right.
But
I even remember one of the girls in my class, this was in 8th grade. Like, I think most of us had started our periods by that point. And we were in the girls' bathroom at school. And she was like, if anybody hears a crinkling sound, that's just me changing my pad. So we were all like communicating about it to each other.
yeah.
I do feel like every single biologically born woman has had this experience where they've bled through their pants at some point. And I will say, like, there is a sisterhood that rallies around each other that always has like tampons and pads when you need it.
Yeah.
The most loyal that girls will ever be to each other is when somebody else needs a tampon or pad and they have got you.
Right. And always like, can you check my butt? Can you check my butt?
Right, yeah. Yeah, you're like, I'll get in there. Let me see it, girl. And then I'll help you out.
A true friend will fish out that tampon.
Yeah. I mean, we could be strangers. I'll help you out.
Yeah.
Sister from another mister.
All right. So the first one we're going to start with is obviously sanitary pads or pads. And I feel like this is the good one to start with because this is the one that most people are encouraged to use on their first menstrual period.
Yes.
So sanitary pads are usually made with either cotton or rayon, and they have plastic for the lining and an adhesive backside. The things to consider when choosing a pad is the absorbency of the pad, the length, if it has a scent, or what materials it's made out of. The time you should use, maximum amount of time you should keep a pad in is between 3 to 4 hours, 4 hours max. And the expiration of pads is 5 years, especially in moist environments. So if you keep a box of pads in your bathroom for about 5 years, there's a worry that like the moisture in the air from like showering and all stuff will like cause bacteria in the cotton of the pads.
I had no idea expiration dates existed for this shit. And I, at work, used to keep boxes just on hand in case I was like, shorthanded, didn't have it, whatever, in my purse. And I would also give them out to others that needed them. And I'm really sorry to everyone that I did that to, because that was for sure longer than 5 years. I just found out. That's shocking to me. Like, I saw that word and was like, that's weird.
Yeah, so I didn't know this either when I was researching. I was like, oh, expiration date.
Yeah.
I know like condoms had an expiration date.
Right. But I mean, that shit's serious. You don't want to fuck with that. But this, I thought we were in the clear.
Right.
I thought this was like, is this like a medical expiration where you're like, it's fine, this pill will probably still work the way it's supposed to?
It'll still work. It's just the fact that bacteria can grow.
Oh, and you could give yourself like an infection.
Yeah.
And now I'm really scared about the tampon slide, which I feel like is coming.
Yes. Okay. So the pros and cons for sanitary pads are pros. They're very beginner friendly. I mean, this is the one that most people with uteruses are. Oh, this is also the thing we were saying. We're saying people with uteruses because all people with uteruses.
People with uteruses have all bled through their pants is what I meant to say earlier.
Right.
Yes.
You're good. They're beginner friendly for all people with uteruses. And it's generally the one that most people will recommend during your first time because it's just a very, very easy.
Right. I feel like in our culture, at least, a lot of girls have like not quite figured out their anatomy yet. So I feel like girls at that age, they're still figuring out their anatomy. Most in our culture, by the time you start your period, you haven't had sex, so you're not used to shoving things in your canal.
Right.
So I think this is a common, like, just put this on your underwear. Don't think about it, because otherwise that's a lot to me. You're already bleeding, and it's the worst day of your life.
Yeah.
And then you have to handle this, so.
By the time I got my period, I didn't realize that your urethra and your vaginal opening are two different holes.
That's what I mean. Like, I was not like struggling in school, but somehow that information had not been conveyed.
Of course.
Yeah. Which also, I feel like if it was, then my question, because it's all about like reproduction. So I would have been like, but where, well, like, are you peeing on the baby during labor? What's happening? So those questions would have come up, and I feel like maybe didn't want to answer those.
Mhm.
So it's not my fault or your fault. We were just,
Misinformed.
yeah,
Uninformed.
yeah,
By the social systems that failed.
exactly.
The other thing, so it's easy to use, which we already mentioned. It's low maintenance cleanup. So when you're done, you just take it out, you wrap it in some toilet paper and just throw it away. And there are different size options for different flow types. So depending on the stage of where you are at your period, your flow could be heavier or lighter. And there are packs of pads that come with different sizes as well to accommodate that.
Mm-hmm.
And they are safe to wear with an IUD. IUD is a form of birth control, and it stands for intrauterine device. There's a hormonal and non-hormonal option, which we'll talk about in the further birth control episode. Cons, they can feel bulky. I think the ones that you can get for free are usually the itchier, bulkier ones, so I don't like those ones.
Right. Those are like the thickest things ever known to man.
Right.
I mean, we've all been desperate and needed it,
And
but
they never absorb enough.
right. Yeah, they're somehow like both so thick and still unabsorbent at the same time.
The other cons is possible leaks are soaking through. I talked about this in the last menstruation episode. This is something I experience pretty often when using pads, especially because some of the ones that I got when I was younger weren't ones that went all the way up to your backside. So there's also like when you're sitting down, that part not being like so secure because of
Were they just like too short?
When I was using pads, I was always wearing overnight pads.
Yeah. Because also, one thing I didn't think of is that like you're still a child when you start your period, and the pads are, I feel like, designed for adult women too. So I didn't think about like size.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They can't be used when swimming because they are an absorbent material. They can be smelly. They are not environmentally friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And they are not cost effective.
Don't get me started on how we have to pay for this shit.
And so just for people who've not used sanitary pads before, how they work is, so first things first, and this is going to be the first step for all of them, wash your hands. Always wash your hands. Pads are usually folded into thirds in a plastic package. So you'll remove the plastic package, and when you open it, the pad is still connected to the plastic because of the adhesive. So it's like a sticker.
Yeah.
And then you remove the pad from the plastic so that the adhesive part is on the bottom, and you put that part on the crotch area of the underwear. And some pads have wings. When we say wings, we just mean flaps on the side that you fold over the outside part of the crotch of the underwear. And then you lay the rest of the pad flat, make sure that the adhesive is sticking on all the parts, and then you put your underwear on. I'm mentioning this because there is a stand-up comedian that had a joke where he talked about it, that Daniel Sloss one, X on HBO Max. Remember how he asked the guy in the audience, like, how do pads work?
Yes.
And he's like, I thought the adhesive sticks to the sticky
That's right.
bits. Yeah. And so wanted to make sure that
We are here to teach you.
Yes, we're here to tell you why. So that's the pros and cons for sanitary pads. I just like to call them pads, though. Most people just say pads.
Right. I feel like most people just call them pads.
Yeah. There's also panty liners, which sometimes people group into this as well. Panty liners are not usually used during period days. They are just used for every other day if you feel like you don't want to stain your underwear from your bodily fluids.
Yeah, if you got a lot of discharge that you would collect in a panty liner.
Yeah.
Or a really light period day.
Yeah.
I mean, not if you're having 2-day periods, but some of us.
All right, tampons. Tampons are typically made of cotton and or rayon. They have an applicator that's made of plastic, and there's a string on the end. The factors to consider with a tampon are sizes, but the sizes equal absorbency levels. The duration you can keep a tampon is between 4 to 8 hours, but 8 hours is the maximum. And for expiration, this is the same as the last one. There is a 5-year expiration date, especially if you keep them in moist environments, just because of the bacteria that may collect.
So again, issuing that apology to anyone that I lent those out to.
And then how to use them? Again, wash your hands. The tampon is going to be in a plastic packaging. Most tampons have the plastic applicators. Some don't. I don't know what to do in those situations where they
You
don't.
just shove it in there.
Yeah, which seems
No.
unhygienic.
The plastic applicator is the way to go.
Right.
I have accidentally bought the little bullet looking ones before, used it once and been like, I'm going to go back and buy the ones I meant to.
Yeah. The applicator has like a thicker cylindrical part with a rounded top. That rounded top has some slits, like in kind of I don't know what shape.
Like a butthole formation.
Yeah, like a butthole formation. And that's where the tampon comes out of. So what you do is you put your pinky, your ring, and your middle finger on the thicker cylindrical part of the applicator, and then your thumb on the other to hold it. And then you used your index finger to put at the end of the applicator and the end of the applicator, you know it's the end because it has a string coming out of it. And then you should also put your hand towards the bottom of the thicker part so that it's easier to hold, because the rest of the part you insert inside your vaginal canal, and then you push the thin cylindrical part that has the string sticking out, and that will insert the tampon into your vaginal canal.
Yeah, and I would also recommend, if you don't know how to use it and you're starting, to do a like fire hydrant where you kind of lift one leg a little bit out of the way so that you can easily access that.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to insert. So stand, put one foot over the toilet or bathtub or sink, whatever you want, and then put it in. But it is harder to put it in with your pants on if you're just going to sit on the toilet. So put one leg out of your pant and then put it in. Just be a little wider. And also when you are putting it in, it doesn't go up, like straight up. It goes at an angle. So you're putting it in at a 45-degree angle.
That's a good tip. Yeah.
Towards your butt.
Yeah. It's like, let your body guide you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just don't clench.
Right.
Because I know if you're stressed about it, clean your hands, put a finger in it first so you can get used to what it feels like, where you're supposed to go and what direction it goes, and then use your tampon.
Yeah. You don't want to like force it while you're tense.
Yeah.
Take some deep breaths, try to relax your muscles.
Right. So the pros and cons about tampons. Tampons are sanitary. They are low maintenance cleanup as well. So once you remove them, just wrap it in toilet paper and still throw it in the trash can. Also, do not throw away tampons and pads in the toilet. No one wants a clogged toilet, so please do not do that. Removal is easy because you can pull out the string. However, con is if it's stuck in there, you gotta like really dig in there to get it. Another pro is that there's different size options for your flow type, and it is safe to use with an IUD, but just be sure to wait for 24 hours after getting the IUD before using the tampons. Cons, it's uncomfortable. I considered it slightly uncomfortable.
It can be. It depends. I mean, 'cause you're already have a really low pain tolerance and like discomfort level when you're on your period.
Yeah.
So like depending, it can be very uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's uncomfortable. It's not sex friendly.
One at a time.
Yeah. It needs to be replaced frequently. They can be smelly. They're not environmentally friendly, not cost effective. And then there's also a risk of toxic shock syndrome and toxic metals. Did you hear about the toxic metals thing?
So both of those I've heard about. Toxic shock syndrome, I was like terrified of when I was like 12. It seemed like it was happening everywhere.
Right.
And if you read it, you're like, oh my God. And then the toxic metals concern I have read about as well. And they do make both pads and tampons with organic materials, because that was something that like obviously you use it for so long and you don't think about like, oh, who knows what kind of chemicals are in here until you read an article that you're like, well.
So it was Berkeley researchers that tested tampons from
Mhm.
different brands from USA and the UK, and they did organic and non-organic, and they
And the
still
organic
found
still has it.
the
Yeah.
metal in
And
them.
I've also heard people making their own tampons, but like I don't have time for that.
Right.
No.
For toxic shock syndrome, again, I also thought it was something that was common.
Yeah. Seemed like it was everywhere.
But also, I just knew that this was something you could get. I didn't know. I was like, what is it? Like,
Yeah.
even when I was researching, I was like, what are even the symptoms of toxic shock syndrome? I have no idea.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up for anyone else that doesn't know.
It's going to be a good ride.
So it's a very rare, but it is possibly life-threatening. It's caused by Staphylococcus aureus, staph bacteria is what they call it. And it can accumulate when the tampon is left in for too long. It's obviously a higher risk when you're using a tampon. It's a lower risk if you're using like a menstrual cup or a menstrual disc, but it's still possible. And it's a higher risk in tampons because the blood is absorbed into the tampon, into the cotton. And then the symptoms are high fever, low blood pressure, sudden vomiting and diarrhea, a sunburn-like rash, and it presents itself with dizziness, confusion, severe muscle aches, and red peeling of the skin on your palms or soles.
That's scary.
Yeah. So
I don't remember the peeling of the skin on your palms or your feet. But I do remember the death part. That was
yeah,
for sure what I was worried about.
that was the only thing I knew about it.
Yeah.
Like, that you could die from toxic shock.
Yeah, I was like, these tampons are going to kill me.
Yeah. But then I was like, how do you even know? And even these, I guess all of them at one time make sense. Then you could be like, oh, toxic shock syndrome.
Right.
But like, if you're just on your period and then you have vomiting and diarrhea, that is just being nauseous and a period poops.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And like, if you have a migraine, you could also be puking for that. Yeah.
Right.
I'm not taking my blood pressure. Like that one I don't know about.
Right. So just a heads up.
So you guys can be as nervous about this as we are.
Yeah. And then for the toxic metals concern, it was in 2024 where the UC Berkeley researchers found several brands of tampons containing the toxic metals. Their research included metals like lead, arsenic, and cadmium. And the reason why it's such a risk is because the vaginal canal has such a high absorption rate. You know how like, people are like, oh, if you soak a tampon in alcohol and then you put it in, you're gonna get drunk really, really fast.
I remember kids were doing that. Yeah.
So the vaginal canal has a higher potential of chemical absorption. The reason why the metals is a concern is because they can increase the risk of dementia, infertility, diabetes, and cancer, and cause damage to the liver, kidney, brain, cardiovascular, and endocrine system. I can list all the 16 different metals
Oh, that were found?
that were found.
Oh.
There's arsenic, barium, calcium, cadmium, cobalt, chromium, copper, iron, manganese, mercury, nickel, lead, selenium, strontium, vanadium, and zinc.
So most of those were concerning. I feel like calcium and zinc, I'm like, cool. Give me those vitamins. I'm really bad at remembering them. But like arsenic,
Yeah.
cobalt, yikes. Scary ones in there.
Yeah. They tested 30 tampons from 14 different brands between the US and UK. There were organic and non-organic ones, and then store-bought and name brand ones in the study.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's something to consider.
Hey, being a woman.
Now my favorite, menstrual cups.
Oh, see, this is my least favorite.
Is it your least favorite?
Yeah.
What do you use?
I use tampons.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Multiple reasons. I don't have a job that I could like
Yeah.
go into the restroom and rinse one of these bad boys out.
Yeah, but
and
you
I-
can leave these in for 12 hours.
I don't think I would like that. You know how I feel about the human body.
Oh, yeah.
I am not in the medical field for a reason. It disgusts me, just the human body in general.
I love the menstrual cup.
I have a friend that is all about them, and I'm like, bleh.
I love them. I think they're fun, but that's
You think they're fun?
I think they're fun because, well, I like that it's a collection, so it's like you get to see how much blood is in your
Yeah, that
cycle.
No, I don't want to.
I like it. One of the ones I had like the markers, like a measuring cup,
No.
so it could tell you like, oh, you have like
Oh,
how like
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4 ounces.
That's how many midolls you need. It's like this much means this many midolls.
Right.
I also, this is completely, not completely off topic. Later, after we go through this, I should tell you about a real life menstrual fear story that I had.
Okay.
Yeah, just remind me later.
Sounds good. Okay, so with menstrual cups, most of them are made with medical grade silicone. Rubber and latex options are also available. The things you need to consider are sizing. So there's usually only two sizes. There's a small or a large. The small is usually recommended for people under 30 or people who have not had children. And then the large size is recommended for people with heavier flows or who have had children.
Mm-hmm.
The length of time you can keep a menstrual cup in is between 6 to 12 hours, which is why I love it. I love the fact that I can just put it in there and I can go about my day, and then 12 hours later, I just have to take it out. The expiration date for menstrual cups are 5 to 10 years, and it's mostly based on how well you clean them and obviously the materials that you choose. Medical grade silicone is the best option. And then for cleaning, you have to clean them after every use. So if you take it out, you have to clean it with water and then you can put it back in. But between cycles, it's recommended that you steam or boil them. They're shaped like a funnel, but it doesn't have the hole at the bottom, so it can collect and catch the period blood. The end is usually a thin cylindrical tip, kind of like the string of a tampon, but it's just like a little bit shorter than that. And it's the thing that helps you take it out. To insert them, you should first wash your hands, always. Then you take the rim of the cup and fold it into a C shape, or push down a side of the rim so it's folded into the cup. So just are making it a little bit smaller. And then you, same as a tampon, you insert it at a 45-degree angle. And it's important to create a seal. So you can either kind of tilt the cup up and down, or if you're more advanced, you can put your finger up there. And when your finger is touching the rim, just kind of like swirl around, and then you'll kind of feel like a vacuum swoop.
Oh,
And then it's like secure when you're about to tug it, and then you feel the resistance.
okay.
I personally really like them because, again, I like the fact that I get to know how much period blood I have, but I also feel like pads get really itchy, and I feel like tampons have always felt like really uncomfortable inside. The one I have now is called the Beppy cup. It's made in Europe. I got it when I was in Amsterdam. When I went to look for a website, I only found the Spain website, so I'll include it in the like links for this episode. But why I like it is instead of that little string tip, like I'd mentioned before, it has a little handle.
Is it that green one?
So it's like that green one.
Cool.
And so it's easier to take out. And then the second thing that's really nice about it is it has the inside of the cup has this leak proof part of it where there's extra silicone inside the tip of it. So if you were to tilt it, it wouldn't come out because
If it's at the wrong angle.
Yeah, it's
because
at the wrong-
one of my friends that tried to use these, like it would either it didn't fit her right or whatever. Like she had issues with it.
yeah.
So that design might be better for her.
Yeah, it's good. That brand promote itself by being like all of their menstrual products are quote unquote sex friendly. I personally just prefer not just take it out and just continue
Yeah.
doing what you're doing. But they market themselves as being sex friendly. What's also nice about them is when you order it, they give you two.
Oh, that's nice.
They give
Same
you-
size.
They give you two the same size.
Nice.
And they give you little cloth bags for each one individually. And then they give you a silicone bag to keep the cloth ones in.
Oh.
Yeah. So I really like that. And they also have a steamer that you can buy. So like you can steam them in between cycles. I wanted the steamer, but I left. They didn't have it in stock and they restocked it when I left. So I couldn't get
sad.
one. Yeah, I was bummed. But
It also looks like a little cowbell.
which one?
The handle, like the one with the handle, looks like a little cowbell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I do like it. And I like the like leak proof thing. Another thing to note about menstrual cups is on the sides of them, you'll see little holes. And that's to make sure that the suction and it's secure. So when you are cleaning them, you have to be good about like cleaning the holes too. So and to do that, you just fill it with water, put your hand, tilt it over, and then squeeze it so that the water comes out of the holes.
Oh,
Yeah. Wait. There is a risk of toxic shock syndrome when using these, but it's way, way lower than with a tampon. And yeah, you clean them with water twice per day. The pros and cons of menstrual cups. So longer wear time, like I said, up to 12 hours, which is great. Decreased risk of TSS. It's still possible, just decreased. Reusable and environmentally conscious. They can be used before your period starts. So if you know your period's going to come in the next couple of days, you could prepare for it and put those in right away.
Yeah, that's it. My Fitbit always tells me.
Yeah. They're safe to use with an IUD, and this is a more cost-effective option. It's usually about like $30.
Yeah.
$35, which is $30 over 5 years is a pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good turnaround.
Yeah. For cons, it is higher maintenance. So like you're not in a space where you could probably clean the.
Right. Like if you're in any type of bathroom that is not a single person bathroom, you are cleaning your cup in public.
Right.
Yeah.
It is higher maintenance. It can be messy, which I agree. I know that within 12 hours of time, I'm usually home. I don't think I've actually had to clean my menstrual cup outside of an environment that I couldn't use, like a single-use bathroom.
Right.
They're not beginner friendly. I feel like these are even harder than tampons to figure out.
Yes.
So it's definitely for a person who's had their period for a longer period of time. Some people recommend using lube, so you may need to use lube.
Now we're bringing supplies. Yeah.
So additional supplies there.
I'm just imagining myself at work trying to do this. Like, got my lube out. Okay.
They're not sex friendly, and the only reason there's an asterisk is because of the Beppy cup option, which claims to be sex friendly. And then possible TSS, toxic shock syndrome, just a lower risk. Still a con because it is possible. When I first tried using a menstrual cup, I thought, because I historically as a kid always bled through my pants. So in my mind, I was always like, I have a heavy flow. I have a heavy flow. So I used the large one first.
Yeah.
And it never worked. I was like so uncomfortable. And then I finally switched to the smaller one. I was like, oh.
So because it was too large, it didn't work? Like you were leaking?
It was like really uncomfortable for me. And like I was never able to get the suction to make it secure.
That makes sense because it was probably folded in some way.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
the next one is a menstrual disc. I've never used a menstrual disc. The next two I've never used. The menstrual discs are also made of medical grade silicone or polyethylene. The things to consider is they only come with one size generally. Some brands offer alternate sizes, but they're usually smaller. The time is between 8 to 12 hours, so you can keep them similar time as a menstrual cup. The expiration date is 5 to 10 years. And same cleaning instructions as the menstrual cup. So it's twice per day, and you steam and boil them between cycles. So what they look like is just like a boob.
They do. That was what I was thinking as soon as I saw them.
So it's kind of like a boob, but they have a little tab that makes it so you can pull them out. Some of them don't have the tab. And some menstrual discs are disposable. Like they have a disposable option, actually. There's like reusable and disposable ones.
Interesting.
So the inserting of a menstrual disc is similar to a menstrual cup. So wash your hands, of course, and then you squeeze the sides of the disc together at the midway point. Position the pinched part of the disc so it's facing down, and you insert it as if you were inserting a tampon or menstrual cup, but making sure that the disc remains folded. Keep pushing. Oh, you have to keep pushing this one as far up as it can go past your pubic bone so that it rests on the base of your cervix. This is why I didn't try this one, because you have to shove it up in there, and it's so far up there. And
what if you can't get it out? You have to go to the
you have to
ER.
dig. While you might not be able to feel the disc out, you should not feel pain. And then to remove your disc, you have to feel for the rim or tab and then pull, but avoid pulling on the main surface of the disc to prevent damage to the material. Again, one of the reasons I didn't like that, because one, you have to shove it all the way up there. And then two, and which we'll talk about in the next part, is because you're taking it out, it's kind of just like if you're just cupping your hands, like imagine like a cupped hand, because that's the size of it. It's
spill.
small. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
so once you take it out, you have to take it out under the toilet. So just because it's just gonna go
Right. It's
everywhere.
going to splatter everywhere. You got
Yeah.
a Jackson Pollock in the bathroom.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. There's two brands, Yora Cup and the Pixie Cup. Both of these brands have an applicator for their menstrual discs and menstrual cups. And they are larger than a applicator for a tampon, but they are like essentially an applicator that is like a tampon one where you can just put the menstrual disc or cup in it and you push it like a syringe
And
inside.
this is bent when you put it in?
Yeah, like you put the bent one in the applicator,
Okay.
and then you put the applicator inside of you and then push it like a syringe.
Okay.
Yeah, so they do offer alternatives. I haven't tried that, but I would love to if they would like to send me stuff. I'm open to trying the menstrual discs. I just don't know if I would like it. I don't know. I would be interested to try though, because you have to like put it so far up your cervix. I'm interested. And like the way that it sits, it's because it's like at the base of your cervix.
Right.
I don't know collection wise how that would work.
One, I assume, I know I'm not trying to do a spoiler. I would assume this one is sex friendly because it's up so far.
Oh yeah, it is.
Can it also be used as birth control if it's blocking the cervix?
I don't think so.
Okay. Just an idea. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I'm not trying to get any unwanted pregnancies out there.
I would not recommend using that as because you have to take it out at some point. Just don't do that. Just don't. So the pros, there is a longer wear time, which is good. Decreased risk of TSS, toxic shock syndrome. There are reusable and disposable options available. They're easier to find the right fit because there's only one size or smaller. They're safe to use with an IUD, and they're cost effective if you get the reusable option. For the cons, obviously higher maintenance. Again, you have to take them out, and it's literally a collection, so it's holding the blood. They can be messy, so you have to remove them over the toilet. It's a challenging removal process. I only put this because it's so far up that you really gotta dig up in there. My whole thing is, I think to be able to remove this, I would need to put my leg up over the toilet, but then I have to do that and then also be careful of it not spilling everywhere. That's where I'm like, this one would be harder.
Maybe you're fully standing on top of the toilet.
Just
both legs, and it's like a squatty potty, but on the toilet seat instead.
I guess. I don't know how. I still think that would be tough.
I think it would be tough. You would have to like really be conscious of like which direction things are coming out.
Yeah.
And it would be very hard to control like the initial descent, like when it comes out.
Yeah.
It would be really hard to control because you can't see at that point.
Also, and this might be a TMI, but like when you take out the cup, there is usually still like a little stringy. It's like when you're snot and you sneeze, it's like a little stringy. It's like you kind of get those sometimes. So
Clots.
that's where the mess come from too.
Yeah. So again, this is why I don't want to do the cups.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. So I mean, yeah, that's what I would expect in this thing too. Because I mean, it's just collecting it still. It can't be any different, right?
Right. And then the disposable version is not environmentally friendly, and there's still a risk of toxic shock syndrome, just a decreased risk. The next one is period underwear. This one I've never tried.
I haven't either, but I was curious about it for like at least for nighttime use. But I just have questions.
Yeah. So most period underwear is made with polyester microfiber materials. The factors to consider is style.
Is that what they look like? That's actually them?
There's a lot of different types. You can like cheeky, like regular underwear. You could get.
Okay.
I think the only one you can't get is a thong, obviously, for obvious reasons.
Right. Yeah.
But the rest of them, you can get different styles. It's regular underwear, just with more absorption on the crotch area. The time, you can wear them for up to 12 hours. Some brands only recommend 4 to 6. So depending on which one you purchase, just check on that. The expiration date is as long as normal underwear. So as long as you're good about cleaning it, that's great. So cleaning, you have to soak it in cold water and then wash on delicate in a mesh bag, or you have to hand wash.
I am absolutely not hand washing that. That's my concern, is that like, then there's just blood gushing out in the water. Like, I can't wash this with my other clothes.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
my hesitation with
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's fine. I have to wash it immediately. And it's
Right.
just one piece of clothes.
Yeah.
I have to like soak it in cold water and then wash it. But then I'm like on however many days you have of your period. And then I don't want to mix it with my other clothes because then I don't want to get blood on my other clothes.
And then what about you have the 4-hour ones and you're just like changing your underwear all day?
Right.
Like now I'm bringing underwear into the bathroom to change and then soaking them.
Right.
Come on.
You can soak vinegar and a water mixture to, if you are concerned about smell and
To
staining.
break that up.
Yeah, for smell and staining.
You may not know the answer to this. Does it feel wet when you're wearing them?
No.
Okay, so you feel dry.
I would assume, and if I'm wrong, feel free to leave it in the comments, but I would assume it's much like the feeling like a pad feeling.
Okay.
Because
so
it's
there's
like-
probably like a net separating things.
A net?
Yeah.
Yes, there's there's like a portion. It's if the pad was inserted into your underwear.
Oh, okay. Maybe I don't need to try these.
Not sold?
No, I'm less sold than I was before.
Well, now you know the information. So
Yeah,
that's what
I'm informed. No, thank you.
So the pros is that these are comfortable. The other ones I never put comfortable because I felt like comfortable was up to the user's
Yes.
discretion.
Yeah.
This, I would only say it's comfortable is because it's regular underwear.
You're used to it,
Right.
probably, some of us.
Exactly. They're easy to use. You have to change them less frequently. They're environmentally friendly, safe to use with an IUD. And then the cons are it's higher maintenance because of higher maintenance cleaning, I would say. I don't think the maintenance of like the day-to-day putting them on, taking them off is high,
Right.
but the cleaning is high maintenance. There's a chance of leaking, which to me that's the huge no-no.
Right. I
So
feel like the whole point of them is that like you're in a big old diaper and you're secure, and now that's not even the
Right.
case. Yeah.
They can be smelly,
Mm-mm.
difficult to change in public, and they're not great for traveling unless you have access to a washing machine or a sink.
Yeah. So I didn't even think about this, but if you're like, I'm out and about for the day, then you have to have an extra pair in your bag.
Mhm.
And then you need to have like a plastic bag to put your other ones in.
Yeah. Some people who have heavier flows will use like this and tampon.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
They'll like double up. Or
Yeah.
if you have a cup, you can use this in a cup. Those are the options.
So you rank the cup as your number one. And then what are your others?
Cup is number one. We're only basing it on the ones I tried, cup, pad, and tampon. Or are we doing all
You
of
could
them
do all of them.
based on what I
Yeah.
know?
Like you have to use them.
If I had to
in this
use
scenario.
them, I would choose the cup. Then I would choose the disc because I like the
Okay.
12-hour like time frame.
Mhm.
Then I would choose the tampon probably,
Mhm.
and then pad and period underwear. I feel like period underwear just ranks last for me because of the whole like cleaning. I don't like to clean.
Right. And
And
I feel like it immediately needs to be cleaned as well.
Right. I feel like while it says it lasts as long as normal underwear, I also just don't feel like normal underwear lasts that long anyway.
I wear my normal underwear the whole day.
Exactly.
Not even every 4 hours am I changing it,
Right.
unless an incident has occurred.
Right. Exactly. So now that you know, how would you rank?
So I would rank tampons 1.
Mhm.
I think I would do pads 2nd because the cleanup and the spillage of the others. Then I guess the cup, like I don't want to look at it. Maybe I'm doing the disposable cup. Those exist, or
The
is that only the
disposable
disc? I still want the cup first because you don't have to shove it all the way up there
Mhm.
with an intense applicator. Mine are disposable, even though they're not supposed to be. I'm just wasteful. Then I guess the disc
Mhm.
and then the underwear are unappealing to me.
Yeah. Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Well, I also made a list of what everyone else should consider when they're choosing. You should define what's important to you. So, is it ease of use? Is it the fact that it's environmentally conscious? Is it the price? I think for you, you like the ease of use of the tampons, right?
Mhm.
That's the main thing. I like the fact that the cup is long lasting.
Yeah.
Like, I like that I can wear it for 12 hours and then I'm good. And then I also like that I'm not buying pads and tampons as every cycle. It's not like
Right.
I have to go out of my way and buy them. So I do like the price. Is there anything else that you think a benefit for tampons? Like, we're doing reusable versus non-reusable.
Versus like fighting about it. You can use your flexible spending account, which is tax free,
Oh, yeah.
to buy your tampons. So that's a good one. And then like, what if I lose my cup? I always know I can go get more tampons easily.
You can get cups easily. They have them in the store.
But then that's like $35.
Yeah.
And my flexible spending account couldn't possibly handle that.
Yeah. The cup. I have like 5 of them.
Yeah, right?
I
One for
have-
every day of the week. But even though you only have 2 days of periods, it's fine.
Well, it's because I've tried a lot of different ones.
Oh, different brands?
Like, one of them I had initially, and I really didn't like it because it didn't have that string part. It literally just had like a tip that was like more silicone, and then you had to pull that one out. But it was made by a sex toy company that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, that's why.
Then my sister gave me one at some point because she was like, "Oh, do you want this?" Like, and I was like, "Sure." And that one was the one that I used for a long time. And then I think like at some point I was somewhere, I started my period, I had an emergency, I needed to buy one, so I just bought one.
Mhm.
And then when I was in Amsterdam, I bought the one that came in the 2-pack. So that's why I
Okay.
have Benny. I mostly use the one that's the one I get from Amsterdam
Mhm.
now, but like I have them other ones for emergency situations.
Right.
But I do, yeah, so I've purchased a lot of them, but I also just like to try different products too.
Yeah.
Well, one of them was a gift. So I purchased a few. I have a few to try from.
Yeah.
What else about tampons?
I think that the
Is it-
ease of use, the comfort as far as like not having a mess in my pants, and then like the inability for my job to like wash a cup on the go, and to like, you have like with a cup you have, I guess, lasts all day, but for me I can change at some point when I need to. So I think that works. And then it's just like, I'm done with, I don't have to like clean it, because that's a whole thing, as I have said several times now. It's the problem. And I just don't like body stuff.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't be a medical professional. So anything, like even spit grosses me out. So like I had a class where we had to spit in the test tube, like a biology class, and I was like gagging. It was horrible. So I just, for me, cannot deal with bodily liquids. I mean, well, cum is fine, but
That's the only one that's
the only one that passes.
Anyway, know your period. So if you have an irregular period, a heavy or light period, that should factor into your decision. Your environment of use, which is what your concern is.
Yeah.
If you're out and about all day, if you're at home all day, if you're traveling, which one should you use in this situation? I think the only time I've recently used a pad was when I was, no, that wasn't me. I normally know when my cycle is happening.
That wasn't you?
No, it's because there was one time I asked my coworker for a pad because my coworker needed it. I didn't need it. Yeah. I don't carry pads and tampons because I have the cup, but I will find one for you.
Oh.
And that's what matters.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So I am
Yeah, like that's the
resourceful.
other thing. Like if you carry the panties around and somebody needs something, are you like, here,
Yeah,
I have my cleaned panties?
exactly.
Yeah.
And then the size, like what if it's a different size?
Right.
I also have no shame and I will ask everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So
Same. Yeah.
as long as you're willing to help for someone out
Yeah.
and finding one, even if it's like, I'll go to the store right now and get you
Yes.
some.
Yeah. Great.
Just give me 10 minutes. We'll figure it
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
I think that's that's still girl code.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect that.
One last thing, it's okay to try different options. Just find the best one that works for you. I do still want to try period panties. I think I would use them for nighttime.
That was my thought as well, was before I thought about it, was like, oh, nighttime, that might be nice.
Yeah.
But then it also said it could leak. So I was like, well, never mind.
I barely bleed at nighttime.
Oh.
I know because I don't know if it's just because of gravity, but it's a very little bleed.
Oh, I bet it is because
Yeah.
you're like on your back rather than like standing up.
Yeah, so after those 12 hours, there's barely anything in there.
Yeah.
So it's mostly like during the
You
day.
get 12 hours of sleep? Oh, you just have it in for 12 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll put it like, I'll usually check it around like if it's during the weekday, like 9 or 10 o'clock, like right before I'm gonna go to bed. And then clean it, then re-put it back in the next morning. Usually around like 8 or 9 o'clock or whatever at time. But it's still 12 hours. It's just like I'm still able to do stuff for them. Like, fine, what works best for you. The last thing we're going to talk about is the environmental impact that these have on the world. So, on average, a person who menstruates uses up to 17,000 tampons or pads in their lifetime.
So, like for a 5-day person, is that what this is?
I think this average is either between 5 days or 6 days.
Okay.
And this is assuming 40 years of menstruating.
Okay. Sorry.
More questions?
No, I'm saying so sorry about it.
A person can generate between 250 to 300 pounds of period product waste in their lifetime. In the UK and Northern Ireland, the waste generated from period products is over 200,000 tons.
I'm starting to feel very bad. Not bad enough to use those underwear, but like bad.
Right. A single pad can take about 500 to 800 years to decompose, depending on landfill conditions.
Okay. But it can decompose.
Yes.
Okay.
Just finding that loophole.
Yeah. It's only 800 years.
It's fine, I'll be done.
Exactly. Unless I find a vampire,
That's
in which case I will continue to live on blood.
right. The two leading sanitary pad brands contain 36 grams of plastic per pack, which is equivalent to 5 plastic carrier bags.
Which are outlawed in our state.
Yeah.
So, like, it's fine. It evens out, yeah. Ooh.
And then
what a relief.
improperly disposed applicators and plastic components contribute to ocean pollution.
I would never do that because I love the ocean.
So you dispose of them properly.
Uh-huh.
Good. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, at least you know the environmental impact of these menstrual products.
Yeah, save the orcas.
All right. Well, that was part 1.
Wait, can I tell you my
Yeah.
period story? So when I was in the Galapagos Islands, there was a day I was on my period, and you can like only see the islands by like a small yacht, and so you don't have internet.
Yeah.
So I couldn't Google this, but our tour guide was like, "We're gonna go snorkeling, and you know there's tiger sharks and blah blah blah," and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm on my period. Like I don't want to attract sharks." So I couldn't Google, which I did later, if it was okay or not to do that. So I just didn't go because I was like, well, I don't want to die by a shark attack. And the jury is out. They don't know if sharks can like detect period blood and come and attack you.
Yeah, it's not an issue. You can still.
I could have died
You're fine.
because I have a period.
You could have had the tampon and then been fine.
We don't know that though.
You could have used the cup.
I didn't want to contribute to the ocean pollution.
You could have worn a cup and been completely fine.
I mean, I wouldn't have known.
That's the Bell class. Have any questions about human sexuality? Submit them to our anonymous form linked in the show notes. Make sure to follow Abroad Sex Education so you don't miss part 2, where we're going to talk about the history of menstruation management and how advertising of menstrual products has shown where we are as a society over time. Your homework? Share this episode with a friend, because the best way to destigmatize sex is to talk about it. And if you're ready for extra credit, grab our free Essential Sex Conversation workbook by signing up for our newsletter. That's it for this lesson. Class dismissed.
Bye.